All right. Let's see what we got. Alright, so in this roof rail kit, it comes with 2 bases, 2 covers. These covers will snap onto this base once you get it bolted on. And it comes with 2 rear covers. This goes on the back by the tailgate. It's just molded differently to fit the rail. You have 8 T40 Torx bolts, 6 T30 Torx bolts, 2 T15 screws, and 2 clips. These clips are optional, but there's 2 different styles of the pilot trim on the roof, and these are only for a certain type, but I'll show you that in a second. Okay, this is a spare piece I have, but it's just to show you. This is one type of roof cover. This goes on the front of the roof molding, and this style bolts directly to the body of the car. See the hole there? There's a cover and a bolt. There's a different style where there's no square here and it just snaps down onto the body. And if you have that style, then you need to replace these clips on there. But I'm not going to need these because my car has the bolt style like this, so I can disregard those yellow clips, but I am going to need everything else. Okay, there's a whole lot of holes on this, and it can be confusing if you haven't done them before. See these arrows? Let's pretend that's the front of the car. Okay, you have series of 2 and 2. These go directly to the body, and these are going to be the black colored T40s. So those are going to go in there and in there. And then the smaller T30s, you're going to have one on the end, one in the middle, and then one on the other end. And it's going to be the same for both sides. So starting at the back, it's going to be T30, T40, T40, T30, T40, 40, and 30. Alright, so like I said before, this is the front of the car. If you have this style with the bolt under here, it's going to have this square. If it's flat across, you just need to pop it up because it's going to have a clip there. But on this one, I need to take this little cover off and then take this 10mm nut off. Alright, so this back piece is separate from the top piece. There's going to be a double-sided tape that holds it on right here, and then there's going to be a clip on top. So to get this off, just gently remove the double-sided tape by pulling on the corner, and then you could pull this straight out. So it's held on the bottom with tape and the top with a clip, and it just snaps in and sticks right there. Alright, so now this top piece is actually snapped down with clips. So what you need to do is gently pry everything up all the way across and pull this piece off of the car. So there we go. Make sure not to bend it, because you're going to need this piece. Alright, so if you don't have a ladder, if you're careful, you can put your feet up here and grab onto this to pull yourself up so you can work on top. It's just an easy way of doing it. But we need to get this off too. Alright, this piece is held on with a clip right here, and then this part pushes through a stud. So since we don't need this piece anymore, you could either sell it online and make a little bit of money, or you can just discard it. But you're not going to need this piece because the kit comes with a new one. When you pull this molding off, a lot of times the clips are going to be left on the studs here, so we need to remove these. Some of them get stuck where you can't pull it off by hand, so you can get a plastic trim tool underneath it and pry up, but I like to just put a rag here with a screwdriver, and then it pops right up. Alright, so the directions say from this line measure almost 8 inches, and then you need to cut this piece off, because when you put the roof rail on, there's going to be a gap here if you don't use part of this. So I'll show you what I do. Okay, I'm working on the right side of the car, so if you look in the box, it's going to be labeled left or right with an arrow for front. So we need the right, and then that's going to go on the front. So I just gently set it up there. Just gently set it up there like that. Alright. So this front hole is going to go not on this first bolt, but the second one. So we need to orient it so it's going to be about there, perfectly lined up with the hole. So that way this first stud is going to be on the screw hole for the trim piece. But you see, that's why you need to cut 8 inches, because then it'll be a gap in between here. Alright, so I just gently put this lined up with the hole where it's going to go. So from this line, I need to measure out 8 inches. Alright, so if I put my tape measure right on that line and go 8 inches out, notice how it goes directly under this flap right here. That's what we want. We want it just to go under this flap, that way there's going to be no gaps. So I'm going to measure 8 inches out and put a line. Alright, now take the roof strip and on the line that we drew, we need to cut straight across. Be careful not to damage this part of it, because this part's going to be showing. And when you're grinding or cutting, use safety gear, because I don't want to get sued because somebody got something in their eye or cut or something. So be safe. So I cut this piece off. This part is now trash. We don't need that anymore. So I'm going to place this back on the car and put the nut and cover on. Alright, so now we need to put this back cover on. This is the new one out of the kit. See, it has a hole there. That's going to go into this back stud. And it's got a flat spot and then a clamp part. So the flat spot's going to go in there, and then the clamp's going to go on top of this, and then the hole's going to go over that. So push this down. See how it's nice and flush? Now we can open back the tailgate. And then this cover we removed, we could stick back in here. So we're going to push the clip in. And then press down to stick the tape again. So now the top end is flush with the back piece. Alright, now we have to lay the base of the roof rail over the studs here. Alright, so now I got these studs in the middle of the holes and the base sits flush. Now I need to put the Torx bolts in like I showed you earlier in the video. Alright, these bolts, you don't want to go super tight with them. I'll post the torque spec if you want to use a torque wrench, but I start off by hand tightening them, and then I'll use a ratchet until they're a little snug. But you don't want to over tighten it because you don't want to snap the stud in the body or strip the bolt out or push it so tight it breaks the plastic. So just keep that in mind. Alright, now we need to snap on the top cover. So you got the two black pieces here. In the middle you see it says RH for right. And then it has an arrow right here for the front. It's kind of hard to see, but that's going to go to the front. And then you're going to just push it on with all these clips. In the very middle, there's a hole there. That's where you're going to put your T15 screw that's going to secure it to the base. This roof rail kit is the gloss black, so it's painted, so treat it just like you would the actual car paint, because it'll scratch and you don't want to use abrasive materials when you're cleaning it because it'll leave scratches. So I'll put this T15 screw in right now. Alright, now we need to put this little cover back on. So on the underside of the cover it says outboard with an arrow. So you're going to make the arrow towards the outside of the car. And you're going to just push down on it. So now this whole side is complete. Now I got to do the other side the exact same way. Alright, so I just got the driver's side on. Alright, so I'm not going to be putting the crossbars on, but you're able to use crossbars with this roof rail. Basically, there's going to be 4 holes on each side. If you take these out, there's actually bolt threads in there for the crossbars to go in. That's just the bar that goes across straight here and straight here. So if you were installing crossbars, you would just remove these Torx bolts and then put the crossbars on, and then the bolts that come in the new package you just screw down straight into there. It's a non-slidable crossbar, so you can't slide it back and forth, but it's just in the fixed spot right here. But I'm done. These are the gloss black roof rails, and it's not really meant for any support or anything, it's just for looks. So now it's got the black glide that goes across the top. And I think it turned out good. Alright, so thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for the next one. Let me know if you guys want to see anything else done. Subscribe if you haven't, that way you can see my next upcoming videos when they come out. And hit a like if you like it. Thanks again.